if you have bad or fair credit, your credit score is really not the only problem that you have when it comes to getting an LLC business credit card. There are other things, there are other obstacles you need to take care of, but you can do it. You can certainly do it. You can actually get your business credit card, your LLC business credit card with bad or fair credit. And I'm going to prove it to you. Into this conversation, I'm going to give you all the steps you need to actually get the card that you need and deserve. So the first thing I want to talk about here is qualification. Everything starts with qualification. The thing is, let's say you want to have a Capital One business credit card for your LLC or a Chase Inc. business credit card for your LLC. The question is, based on your situation, do you qualify? Now you can tell me, well, I don't think I qualify because I have a bad or fair credit. And my answer to you is, you are wrong. Because you could qualify for the Chase Inc., for example, or the Capital One Spark for your LLC as a business credit card if you know how to apply it. Let's say, for example, you have a great relationship with Chase. You have a great relationship with Capital One. And I'm talking about you actually having a checking account with them or having a savings account with that bank, with Capital One Bank or a Chase Bank, okay? Or you haven't been with that bank for many, many years. For example, you have your direct deposit coming into your Chase business account or savings account or personal account. So the point I'm trying to make here is that eligibility is really important. And so the thing is, every credit card issuer has its eligibility criteria. So sometimes you have things will vary, things will change, whether you are speaking about your income, the FICO score required to get the business credit card, okay? And in terms of eligibility, some issuers want to see your income proof in terms of your W-2, your tax returns, your bank statements. So be very careful about eligibility, okay? By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We love having this kind of conversation. So one thing I want to say here is that there are some business credit cards that also ask for your business credit score. So it's not just so when we talk about bad or fair credit, it could also be bad or fair credit in terms of business credit. So bad or fair credit for business credit, that will be around you having 70, you having 80 or less on your paydesk score. Okay, Dun & Bradstreet paydesk score. So those are things I really want you to think about. So number one, qualification. Ask yourself, do I qualify? Evaluate your eligibility. The second thing I want to talk to you about is comparison. See, after qualification, you have to actually go right into comparison. So if you're looking for a business credit card for your LLC with fair or bad credit, you need to be discriminating a little bit. You need to actually segregate. That means what? It means you need to go after a specific type of card for your LLC. Because see, the whole thing is that you can't qualify for all cards anyway. We have already established that. So we need to be smart now and make the right decision in terms of which card will be more suitable for your specific LLC. When I'm talking about more suitable, I'm talking about not only the what we call the external factors, the overall state of the economy, how your industry fares vis-a-vis the rest of the economy. Okay, what your rivals, whether your rivals are making more money, and you have the external factors, but you also have the internal factors, like factors that are that are inherent to your particular business. Okay, things like, are you making profit? How long you have been in business, like what is your business credit, all these type of things. So in terms of comparing and contrasting LLC business credit cards, you want to pay attention to the 0% intro APR period. So I'm just giving you a few pointers that will help you compare and contrast those LLC business credit cards appropriately. So we have a 0% intro APR. We have the annual fee. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm talking to you about how to actually get approved real fast for an LLC business credit card with bad or fair credit. And fast approval, of course, and high limits, okay? So 0% intro APR period is just one way of you one way of you analyzing the LLC business credit cards you were looking at. You have the annual fee, the rewards program, the foreign transaction fee, the welcome bonus. So those are pointers that will help you compare and contrast the business credit cards you want to apply for, you want to focus on for your LLC. So this will be very helpful to you in terms of deciding in the end which card is better for you, depending on your LLC needs. The third thing I want to talk to you about is the application itself. So you've done all the work. You've actually determined whether you're qualified. Okay, you've actually compared and contrasted some cards, and now it's about time to apply. Now the thing is, when we talk about applying, we can actually have two phases here. So we have the first phase is you pre-applying. In other words, you can actually see if the card actually offers a pre-qualification process. So if you can probably go online. If you go for it, we actually have covered on this show. There are some credit card issuers that allow you to actually pre-apply for a business credit card. So you can actually do that for your LLC. Sort of see, test the water, see what's possible there. You never actually know how much you might get. So, I mean, pre-qualification is not something that is as frequent as it is. I mean, that is as frequent for business credit cards as it is for personal credit cards. So, hey, listen, it's important. You just want to give it a try and see if you actually qualify. If there is possible, it's possible in the first place, right? So the first step, the first phase, if you will, is pre-qualification. The second phase is application itself. So if you pre-qualify and you love the numbers that they give you, the offers that the credit card issuers gives your LLC, the numbers they gave you, then you can go to the second phase, which is the application itself. Okay. Now for the first phase, you have there is no hard pull, right? Your FICO score is not being checked. I mean, nothing at all. It's just a soft pull. But the second phase, the real application, of course, they'll check your FICO score. So that will result in a hard pull. So when we talk about your LLC business credit card requirements, they want to have your LLC's legal name, the contact information for your LLC. I'm talking about mailing address and phone number, the industry tab, okay, the time in business, number of employees, the EIN. And so this is important. Even if you are a single member LLC, you still need an EIN to do other things. So I want you to really think about that. So this is about it when it comes to the requirements for the credit card for your LLC. And one thing also I want to really I want to elaborate because it's really important. First, let me just kind of remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about LLC, business credit card, bad or fair credit, fast approval. How do you actually get that, right? So when we talk about, annual business revenue plays an important role when it comes to your approval odds for LLC, business credit card, bad or fair credit. And see, when we talk about annual business revenue, it's not just the issuer looking at your financials and say, is this LLC making money at all? No, it goes beyond that. The thing is that the credit card issuers, sometimes they love to contextualize the annual business revenue number that you're giving them. Let me just explain. Let's say you made $1 million, right? Let's say last year you made $1 million, your LLC made $1 million, but the credit card issuer realized that your industry is really booming like crazy. Your rivals are making $10 million a year. Your industry is growing by double digits. And but you're the only one who's actually sort of a laggard. Your LLC is not really performing that well. They might approve you, but they will give you a lower limits. Because when a lot of LLC members, they think that when big banks analyze LLC business credit card applications, especially when they pay attention to financial statements, people think that when they only look at the annual business revenue, just the number. No, they look at that number. They analyze the number qualitatively, but also quantitatively. So The quantitative part is pretty obvious. They look at the number. Does it make sense? Is it enough to sort of qualify the LLC for a business credit card? That's the quantitative part. But the qualitative part also is important because, again, of just what I said, they want to contextualize that number. So the LLC business credit card issuer also wants to understand your estimated monthly spend on the card, your anticipated spend, your legal name, your own legal name, right? Your contact information and social security number. And if anyone else has a 25% or more in your LLC, you are likely to provide this information for them as well. Your personal credit history. So, you won't have to provide this information, but the card issuer will use your legal name and social security number to perform a hard pull on your credit. Okay. But yeah, so those are things I really want you to really be aware of, and they will happen. And the credit card issuer just wants to make sure that you actually are providing the appropriate amount of information for them to approve you. This is important. Now, speaking of approval, let's talk about approval. So when we talk about approval for your LLC business credit card, bad or fair, credit fast approval, you just have to wait for approval. There's nothing else you can do. Okay. Depending on the backlog that the bank has, you might have to wait 3 days. Sometimes you might have to wait 7 days. So I just want you to be patient. Hold your horses. Okay. Nothing's going to happen to you, and they'll get back to you. The bank will get back to you. Now, the thing is, if you apply at a big banks, sometimes they get back to you a lot faster because they do have the resources in terms of human resources or technological resources to process applications faster. But if you apply at a smaller bank, just take the time. Smaller bank or smaller credit union, take the time to wait. Wait for approval. And it's really important to understand that the way you apply will actually determine how fast you hear an approval decision or a denial decision. You could be denied. Okay. And so if you applied let's say the fastest way to get your LLC business credit card here is through the branch. If you actually go to a brick and mortar branch and sit down and really have a conversation with the credit card rep before actually submitting your application for your LLC business credit card, bad or fair credit fast approval, your chances are higher to be approved faster. But if you applied, let's say online, or you applied over the phone, you applied via USPS snail mail, then it probably will be slower. Now, the slowest among all those four is the USPS snail mail. So if you actually fill out a form, let's say you fill out a form and you send it to the bank, if you applied manually, it'll take longer. The second slowest way to apply for an LLC business credit card, bad or fair credit, is applying through the phone, applying over the phone. And but applying at a branch is the fastest. The next fastest method here is to apply it online. So you go online, you fill in the information, and you hit submit. Okay. So just be patient. They'll get back to you. They will analyze your application, and they might actually get back to you. They might ask you for additional information. Just be ready. Be on the lookout for information for a text message or an email or even a call, and be ready. Another thing I want to talk about that a lot of folks don't talk about is the activation. See, the whole thing is if you get approved, hoorah, right? Hooray, whatever. So, this is really awesome, right? Yay. All right. Now the work begins. When you get approved for an LLC business credit card, bad or fair credit, the real work begins, right? How you use the card, how you actually, how you manage your finances responsibly, how you trying to divorce your personal affairs from your business affairs. Those things are important. So, but it's important to also activate the cards. You need to activate the card. You will probably receive. They'll send you like an email. Nowadays they could even send you a text message, depending on the bank. We know that the big banks like to send you an email, or they'll send you an email directly, so you know. Okay, sometimes they'll tell you to go to a secure page on their website, so you have a clear idea of the decision, and actually they have a static page for the decision. So once you have that, you just need to go there and you have to activate the card, right? So activate the card, and what you want to do is it's very important when you activate the card, please review any accompanying information, because remember your LLC has bad or fair credit, which means that you might have a lower credit limits, or even APRs are not really interested in pay. But hey, it is what it is. But at least you know what you're getting yourself into, so to speak, so that you know, hey, listen, there are a lot of fees, and you have to be very careful not to attract late fees, not to attract penalty, like some kind of penalties, whatever. So those are really important for you to pay attention to. And hey, that's why I was just telling you, it's important, therefore, for you to know, okay, this is the card, this is how much this is the grace period, this is how often I have to pay. Anyway, you don't want to be in a situation where you carry balances. No, you want to be disciplined enough from a monetary perspective to always pay your bill on time, to always pay your balance in full, so that this is how you build your credit real fast. If you have bad or fair credit, whether you have a bad or fair credit score personally or business wise. The last thing I want to talk about here is, and this is a lot of things, this is sometimes something that LLC business owners don't pay attention to, is actually understand that when you have an LLC business credit card, you have to use it. You have to use it because a business credit card by itself does have some perks. Okay, there are a lot of perks that come with a business credit card, especially if you have an LLC, that you can only activate if you use the card. For example, you are able to separate your LLC business expenses and finances from your personal finances. This is really important, right? Because this goes back to what we call what we call having the corporate veil. So you're trying to protect, you're trying to preserve your personal assets should something happen to your LLC. Because if you don't actually create let's say a strong and clear curtain around your personal expenses, if you mix those two, if something were to happen, the court might actually strike and really charge you and really harm you personally when it comes to your personal assets. Okay, so it's very important that you actually use a business credit card and you use it separately from your personal credit cards. And I want you to get that into your mind. Okay, you are able to also build business credit for your LLC if you use your LLC business credit card appropriately. Okay, you are also able to have fast and easy access to working capital, which your LLC might really need depending on your company's liquidity situation. If the cash flows are positive or the cash flows are really so a business credit card will actually help you fill those occasional liquidity gaps. And you also need to have once you use your business credit card appropriately, your LLC also has the ability to earn rewards. So this is really cool. You can see that we have here a constellation of business credit cards, and we have a constellation of business credit card benefits. Okay, you can earn rewards. It can be cash back. It can be points. It can be gift cards and more. Okay, so overall, fantastic. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I just explained to you a lot of things, a few things. Let's just say here and there about ALC business credit card, bad or fair credit. And so I spoke about qualification. I spoke about comparison. I spoke about the application. I spoke about the approval. I spoke about the activation. And I spoke about the perks. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I will speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.